Hey, good morning. This is Dr. Gifford from Dartmouth's Got Talent, and I am really excited today to let you know we are on location at our Quinn Elementary School. So we got some really fabulous stuff to show you today. We'll be interviewing our principal, assistant principal, and then seeing what's going on in our classrooms. So I hope you have some time to sit back and enjoy this. As you can see, we've got a lot of kids coming in right now, and they probably don't really know what's happening, but pretty soon they will, because we're going to be in some of their classrooms, and we want to show you some exciting things that are happening here at Quinn. So sit back and relax. You got a great show to watch. So before we get to visit some of our classrooms, I'd like to introduce a couple of guests today. Our principal, Mr. Kyle Granfield, and our assistant principal, Audra Thomas. Hi. So again, thanks for having us here on location at Quinn Elementary. We're really excited.
Thank you.
Of course.
Absolutely. So before we get, like I said, to go visit some of the kids and see what they're doing, I just want to ask you a few questions about what's happening here at Quinn. And Mr. Granfield, being new here, can you tell our folks at home a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to Dartmouth?
Sure. So I'm from Dartmouth. Grew up in Dartmouth. I went to Potter School, the middle school, and the high school. Graduated from Bridgewater State College. I taught in New Bedford, but I also taught at Dartmouth Middle School. And then I was an administrator in Fall River, and my aspiring dream was always to come back and be in Dartmouth. So it's great to be back here, and this is a great school and great team, great teachers and great kids. So
Good.
Thrilled to be back.
Well, we're absolutely happy to have you here as well.
Thank you.
And Ms. Thomas, of course, you've been here for quite a while now. You worked with a different administrative team.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a very similar story. I'm also a product of Dartmouth Public Schools. Also went to Bridgewater, taught at DeMello School. I also taught here at Quinn, and now I'm here as an administrator. So also back home. So it's nice to be here.
It is nice to be here.
It is.
It is a great place to be.
It is.
So I want to ask both of you before we get started some of the meat of what's happening here. You've both worked with different administrations, obviously different schools, etc. What was it like to now, this year, have to start building a new team? Kind of what are some of the steps you took?
Yeah, so I can start. I mean, coming in beginning July 1st in the summer, while students aren't here and staff really isn't here, I can say that it was very supportive from the secretaries that we have that were coming in and supporting me, getting to know the building and the dynamics. Ms. Thomas and Ms. Yarmolovich, the other assistant principal, came in more than they needed to come in to support me and give me the history, kind of guide me through different things. And that collaborative piece has been ongoing throughout, really trying to action plan different things of reflecting on what's already exemplar at Quinn and other things that we could just fine tune and really just coming up with that consistency piece throughout the building. So it's been a very team-oriented approach. Also throughout the summer we spent a lot of time meeting with all different stakeholders throughout the summer, from teachers that were coming in to set up classrooms, parents that were coming to register students, you name it, anybody that came in. We had a school council meeting over the summer just to try to get as much, me personally, as much information as possible so that the rollout of school I was as familiar as what it could look like. And then since the school year started, we've kind of taken that collaborative team and really expanded that, forming other teams, and I think that's been the basis of what we're trying to do, is really bring consistency through collaboration and really expand and be the model of collaboration throughout the whole building, so that these other teams within the building really expand, and both vertically, horizontally, and that's a huge piece.
Good. Yeah, and as we know, in education, that's so important now. We've gone to the days of isolationism, and it's really about being a team in a school and a district, of course. So you talk about teams. I know I really wanted to ask you about PBIS.
Sure.
Because as we know, it's running very well, I guess, in the district. So I want to kind of get an idea of what it means and how you folks have been implementing it.
Sure. So PBIS is Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. As you know, it's not new to Dartmouth. I think we've been probably 7 or 8 years in. We have a pretty, I think, well-established Tier 1 whole school approach here at Quinn, and across the district, really, especially in elementary schools and middle school. We are the Quinn School Rockets.
Okay.
So we have Rocket Fuel, which is our coins. So kiddos here earn coins for showing role model behavior, so showing respect to self, respect to others, respect to property. And they actually, I brought a little prop.
You have a rocket?
Sure, but I have a rocket here. So this is a grade level, a classroom rocket.
Okay.
So every classroom, we have 30 classrooms here, every classroom has this rocket in their class. It holds 40 coins. So kiddos can earn coins for, again, showing respectful behavior, and they can get it from any adult in the school. Every Friday we have certain adults that will give coins. So for example, one Friday it will be a custodian that will give coins, so the kiddos know, like, we're looking, for the custodians at lunch. They're the ones that are going to give the coins. TAs can give coins, recess monitors can give coins, secretaries. And when they give a coin, they want to make sure that they tell the student why they're getting the coin. That's a really huge piece for them. So when the kiddo goes back to their classroom, they'll say to the teacher, I earned a coin today. And the teacher will say, well, why? And we want the student to be able to explain why. And they can. When they get the 40 coins, they have a classroom incentive. So it could be a movie, a pizza party, anything that the kiddos come up with. So it's really based on what they choose, which is nice. And then you'll see the kids walking with their rocket to our grade level coin rockets, which we have out in the front foyer, and they dump the coins in. When they earn 200 coins in the grade level rocket, then they have a grade level incentive, which is usually an extra recess or something fun like that. And then we have a school rocket, and when that gets filled at the end of the school year, we have a school-wide incentive, which is usually a bouncy house or something really big for the kids. So they know that in order to get a coin, they have to show that role model behavior. We also have a monthly characteristic, character trait here, so they can earn for that as well. So
like kindness or whatever it is.
Honesty, whatever the trait is of the month. So kids know that we're also looking for that too. So they love it. They really do.
They do, and as we know, this supports a district's initiative, really focusing on social emotional well-being, mental health issues, and that positive behavior.
And we model it as the staff. So at the beginning of the school year, we have a staff volleyball game that all of the kids come to. I know you've seen it before, and we show that we're playing together, and that kind of models for the kids how we interact together, just like they do outside at recess. Slapping five and not getting upset if we don't win. Maybe rock paper scissors if we are having a disagreement. So they get to see that too. So we're modeling it for them.
Really good stuff.
Yeah.
And I have been to a number of rallies throughout the district. Those monthly rallies.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so it is. It's good to see. It's good to see. It's so strong.
It is.
And it's continuing to remain strong here at Quinn. You also have this year have started a peer leadership group committee.
Yes.
So tell us about that. The focus of it. Maybe some goals. How you become a peer leader. And all of that.
Sure. So this is a initiative that it's really empowering the students, and with it being the first year that we're doing it, we started with just grade 5. We kind of created a protocol of what that would look like, and Tiffany Martin, our outreach worker, one of our outreach workers, has really taken the initiative of facilitating it for the year, and our hope and dream is that year after year we can expand it and maybe even go into other grade levels, and this is kind of the pilot year. So they meet monthly before school. There was a very rigorous criteria to like an application phase, I guess. So they had to fill out an essay of what a peer leader means and what they would bring to the school to support the school in different efforts to help better the school. On top of that, they had to have a parent sign off on it. They had to have at least 3 teachers give recommendations, and they had to have 20 students sign off as recommendations that they would be positive peer leaders for the building. We currently have 29 peer leaders within the 5th grade class, and they had a meeting yesterday that I was able to go to, and Miss Martin in her office, she's had posted a poster where students can come in at any time as peer leaders and write down different ideas that they have that would benefit the school. And yesterday they were kind of reflecting of where they're at with all of that. So some of the things that, and it's completely student-led and facilitated, so some of the things require them coming in before school, giving up recesses, or even doing homework at home to get things in place. So an example of that is they were talking about the need for more, excuse me, more food drives other than just Thanksgiving and
wonderful.
the holiday seasons.
Wonderful.
So they have created, it's something called the Food Drive Super Bowl. They decided why not do it around the time of a Super Bowl, and they're currently brainstorming all the different ways of advertising to the public
I love it.
the need for a food drive throughout the course of a school year. So they have been communicating on their own free time with the Council of Aging in Dartmouth of what could be useful as far as donations that they could deliver. So they have a meeting scheduled with me tomorrow morning to talk to me about what their efforts would be, and want my permission to go forward with advertising this. And so that's one example. They'd like to decorate the playground. They would like to put posters of positive and like motivating quotes throughout the building. They're working in the library creating bookmarks with positive messages and phrases, and they're laminating it for students.
It's wonderful.
I mean, they're doing so many different things to support the community and specifically Quinn. So it's only 2 months into it, but it's been
going well. It's going well.
Great.
So these are just some examples of the real positive steps forward that the entire staff and the kids are taking to ensure that we have a positive culture and climate.
Right.
I'm going to ask you one more question about families being involved in the schools and what they can look forward to as we wrap up our little segment here, because I really want to get in to see what the kids are doing.
Absolutely.
So if you could just give our families some idea of some of the activities that they can look forward to for the rest of the year and at Quinn.
Sure. So one of our big things that we do in March is our literacy night. So that's all around Dr. Seuss, and that's a huge night for us. I think last year we had over 300 families that attended. Teachers volunteer their time to come in, and the students really love that. They take pictures with the Cat in the Hat, and they get to go to different activities. So that's really a fun one. One that we just had in November was our Museum of Kindness and Caring. I have to mention that one because that's such a big one that we have every year, where it's a student-centered exhibit, and all of the students made emojis with our art teacher, and every sentence stem was I matter, from K to 5, and they were able to kind of create it any way that they wanted, but that was very empowering, and there were stations throughout the building. I know you came to volunteer with your husband, and we put you to work.
We didn't know what you were getting into, but
and that was a fabulous night. So we really we encourage it. We love having families into Quinn to come and see what the kiddos are doing, and it's always student-centered as much as we can, because that's so important, and the kids love coming and showing off their work and showing off what they do in school.
They become confident, proud.
Absolutely.
And again, just knowing that how important it is that we involve our families, we keep our kids positive, we let our adults role model the positive, good, kind, empathetic behavior.
And I know you were talking, I know you were talking about our rallies, and that's something that we've changed up this year. We never used to have parents come in, and then I know Mr. Granfield at a school council meeting, one of the parents said, I would love to come in and see if my daughter gets recognized. So we started doing that this year, and that has been, we've had just about 100% parent participation in that.
And that's really setting the tone for the rest of the students to be able to see the parents come in, and students are actually asking like what else they can do to be the recipient the next month of whatever the character trait of the month is. So they're really working towards that. So I think that's been one more effort of just really motivating positive behavior.
Well, and as we know, as we support the mental health, the well-being, the positive behavior, our kids do better academically. So speaking of kids, we're going to go take a quick look. I think we're going to start in our library with Miss Kate Powers. So let's go.
Sounds good.
So our first stop is with Miss Kate Powers in the Library Media Center, and we want to ask her what's happening here today, and then we're going to talk to some of our kids. So thanks for chatting with us.
Absolutely. I'm happy that you guys came. It's nice to have some company in here, although we're usually pretty busy.
Yeah, I've been here many times, and you are always busy. So can you just give us some ideas of what's happening today?
Okay. Well, this is one of our circulation weeks. We have 2 alternating weeks in the library. The circulation week are when the students borrow books in exchange, and a tech week where we do a tech activity, but sometimes I like to blend the two, which is what we're doing today. And we are right now coding, which is something that we do quite a bit in the library. We are working with a system called Blockly via code.org, and the students these are my first grade kids, and they are working with Angry Birds, and they are learning the basics of computer science. And as you can see, they're not even looking at me, which means they're very into what they're doing. They're quite good at it, and it sets them up really well for STEM careers.
So let's go take a look at some of these things that are happening. Hey guys, how would you like to tell us what's happening? What are you all doing on your computer here? Who'd like to volunteer?
Cool.
And your name is?
Lucas.
Lucas, what are you doing here?
Coding.
What does that mean?
Like telling the computer what to do.
That's an awesome answer. So we're doing a little TV show about what's happening here at Quinn. So we want to see what you're doing. Anybody volunteer and tell us? Yeah, all right. What's your name, honey?
Coding.
What is your name?
Melanie.
And what does coding mean?
Telling the computer what to do.
Let's ask this question then. Do you love coding? What do you like about it?
It's fun.
It's fun. It's fun. What do you like about it?
It's fun.
So I'm hearing a lot of fun. And then maybe someday you'll become big computer scientists, right? All right. Well, thanks for chatting with us today. Carry on. So now, thanks, Ms. Powers. I think we're going to head off to another classroom. And we really enjoyed having come on into your class today.
Well, thank you so much for coming in anytime. Door's always open.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Second grade class. So now we're going to be coming into Miss Boyani and Mr. Fusco's second grade classroom. Right now I hear the kids are working on what's called Reader's Workshop. So let's go see what's happening. Mr. Fusco, can I interrupt you? Hi. We just wanted to see what was happening in your classroom. We understand you and Miss Boyani here are running a reader's workshop. So could you tell us a little bit about what the students here are doing, and then we'll chat a little bit with them.
Sure. So the students are working on a storyboard from the fairy tale stories we've been reading in class. Hansel and Gretel and Goldilocks, character traits, and they're working on the inside and outside character traits.
All right, thanks. I'm going to check it out with these guys. All right, hey guys. You just heard what I was saying, right? So could you tell us a little bit about what your task is right now? Who would like to volunteer? All right, what's your name, honey?
Darren. We're putting character traits, and we're gonna write how to describe the person.
And did you read the story together before you started this? Did you have to read it by yourselves?
We read it with Miss Boyani read it.
How did you like the story?
We liked it.
And who's your favorite character?
I like Papa Bear because he's very loud. And
Well, thanks for chatting with us, guys. Good luck on your project. Let's see what these other folks are doing. Hi, guys. Did you hear what we're doing today? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're doing folk tales and story tales. And then we're organizing the cards, and my favorite one of my favorite books, my favorite book on if I had to choose from Goldilocks or Hansel and Gretel, it would be Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel. I'd like to know why.
Cause when I love to eat, so whenever I look at that candy house, I'm starving.
I love that answer. That's terrific. I never expected that. And what's your favorite book that you've read about this task?
it was the same one as Charlie.
Oh, and how come? What do you like about it?
Because when it shows the candy house, I get starving too.
I think we better get you all some snacks. So just tell me again, sir, what do you have to do here about the story?
So we're setting it up, and then I think storyboard. I meant so I think storyboard by. So I think we would write our names. So like right here, Charlie and Isabella. So I don't know if we're supposed to do the last names or not, or just Charlie N or Charlie. Isabella P.
Well, thanks. And then I know you're going to tell all about your characters and the setting. Thanks for sharing today. We really appreciated that. Okay. Miss Boyani, can I ask you a question? Hi. Thanks for having us here in your class. Absolutely. So we're listening to the children tell us about the storyboards, etc. What are your long-term goals about this kind of a project and past like today?
I really enjoy teaching fairy tales and folk tales to the children. I find that it's a genre that's it's really fun. It's magical. So I like to immerse them in the different stories that from different cultures. And not only are they fun, they teach a lesson. So by analyzing characters and immersing themselves in the genre, they're learning so much, not only just through, reading about the characters, but also learning life lessons.
Well, I think you have hit the nail on the head, because we always remember our folk tales from way back when we were kids and the moral and the lesson that it taught us, and to be able to inspire that imagination. So great job. Thanks for sharing with us. I'm going to ask my little friends here maybe what their favorite story has been.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I heard somebody else like that too. How about you, young man? What's your favorite?
Goldilocks.
You like it too. It sounds like it's a really good story. Well, happy. Have some fun doing your task, all right? Thanks for having us here today. Okay. All right, so as I said, we just have been in Miss Boyani and Miss DeFusco's class. You can see there's a lot going on in this class, and I would like to commend the teachers for their work in the literacy and really bringing out imagination and creativity and critical thinking in our students. So I hope you've enjoyed our show live from Quinn Elementary today, and I want to thank obviously my main hosts of the school, Miss Audra Thomas and Mr. Kyle Granfield, our principal and assistant principal, for having me here today, and obviously thanking our teachers and our students for allowing us in the classroom and sharing so much. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much for coming today.
So time to wrap this up. So here's Dr. Gifford live from Quinn Elementary, and that's a wrap. Join us next time.